Thanks for joining us. I'm Nari McDiarmid for Mining Journal, and today something a little bit different. I'm speaking with Copper Search Chief Executive Duncan Chessell, who's on site near the drill rig in action at the company's flagship Peake project in South Australia. Duncan, firstly, can you remind us what you're looking for at Peake?
Yeah, good morning, Nari. We're out, yes, at the Peake project, top of South Australia, and we're looking for IOCG mineralisation, or iron ore copper-gold mineralised deposits. And these are the same style that you have at Olympic Dam, Prominent Hill and Carrapateena, all owned by BHP and the three largest mines in South Australia. The main element that you're looking for is the copper.
So, Duncan, you've just started a 4-hole diamond drill program. What's the first hole behind you targeting?
Yeah, so this is AC23, and it's targeting a gravity feature on the Karari shear zone. And along the Karari shear zone into what was demetallica in our AIFEMA mines ground is a sort of a newish discovery that they made late last year called the Wills Prospect, where they identified IOCG style mineralisation in their first drill hole on that target. And then since then, there's been the whole BHP takeover of Oz Minerals, who are the funding partner, and the program's sort of like stalled a little bit right now. And I imagine we'll see some new decisions coming through. But we know this is a fertile zone for copper mineralisation, and we are targeting the same style. So it's a gravity feature with a very weak magnetic signature, subtle magnetic signature, and it's a fantastic target to be testing on a major structural corridor that's where all the fluids and mineralisation can come through to near surface. So we're looking very looking forward to the results of this drill hole.
And beyond that, Duncan, you've also got some regional exploration planned. What's on the cards there?
So we recently completed a large 1,500 metre or large scale 1,500 line kilometre airborne EM survey, which can seek to identify other types of copper mineralisation, iron, sulphur, copper, gold, ISPGs, which can also occur in the shear zones. So we're at the moment processing that information and then looking to follow that up with some ground EM on some of those targets and doing some verification. Up in the northern half of the project area, we're also getting out of the ground, mapping around some of the old copper workings and looking at deploying potentially some IP surveys around some of those workings to test out the depth extent and strike extent of some of those old workings from the 1800s. So, there's copper mineralisation at surface up there to the north. We've really been tackling and focusing on the southern half of the program so far. We've identified these absolutely cracker IOCG targets. So we're very happy to be getting on with drilling here and at the same time developing a pipeline of targets in the north.
Well, Duncan, last time we spoke, you'd spent quite a bit of time doing a detailed review to refine the targets for the current drilling program. How will that come in handy in terms of reviewing the information that comes forth from the exploration you're doing to the north?
Well, I guess it actually helps in both areas, because every time we put a drill hole down, we can actually go and take the rocks out, and we've been on the core racks the last few days, measuring the specific gravity, the gravity measurements. We're verifying that against what was our modelled gravities. And so we're able to refine that whole review process and say, we can actually verify it with empirical evidence. And that helps sort of just that keep iteratively working your mineralisation models up and your targeting, and all of that helps. So certainly up in the northern side of things, that airborne EM survey, that'll help us with some of that work, but also helps to sort of map out and understand some of the geological contacts and formations. You can infer different pieces of information from the AEM survey. And that will help us with understanding whether we think we've got some valid drill targets up there. And we're really very excited about this overall project, though. It's just this huge unsort of tapped patch of dirt in South Australia, a little bit forgotten in the northeast corner. We know we're right here. We're on a mineralized corridor, which is really deep tapping, and we've got a number of targets along this corridor. So we're super excited with what's going on.
Well, as you say, your neighbours had success with their first drill hole. So fingers crossed, there's a lot going on. I'll let you get back to it. Thanks for taking the time.
No worries. Thanks, Nari, and great to speak to you again.